Okay, so this time I'm going to show each leg here on the screen for 15 seconds. So you can decide what you would do before you see what I would do. Honestly, 15 seconds is probably more time than I spend. But here we go. This is Sweetwater, August 4th. And it's hot and muggy, although it's very early in the morning, just after the park opened, to try and beat some of the heat. My plan here is to, first control. I'm going to just go past the visitor center, get on the trail, go down and jump off at the appropriate time. These trails needs a little bit of work on the map. I don't think they're exactly where they appear. Yeah, especially this trail junction that's coming up. That's doesn't seem to be in the right spot, and the reentrant that's down there to the left. I keep looking over there thinking, now's the time. So I dive in and go over. No controls, just blue tape hanging in the woods. All right, second leg, decide what you're going to do. "15 seconds is a long time, actually. Here we go. My plan is to go over to the trail again, and then down the trail beside the creek. I could have taken the upper trail and gone over to the picnic loop and gone down the paved road, but this is training, so I'm going to stick to the woods as much as possible and get some more experience in. I'm going up the reentrant, not in the reentrant, but off to the side. Close enough that I can see it down there, but not so close that I'm stuck down in the bottom. It looks like I'm moving pretty fast, but I'm not. It's hot. I'm already feeling the heat. The climbs, even though, this is the upper part of the west side of Sweetwater, so it's not that steep, but it's still 5-meter contours. So up, across the paved road. So far I'm coming out about right where I want to be. Across the little trail, out to the paved road again, turn left. I'm going to go down to that next picnic shelter on the right, which has its own little parking lot, as you can see. And we'll dive in there. I didn't see anybody on this run. Not a soul. Which is odd for Sweetwater. It's a very busy place, usually. But this was a Thursday morning in August. So I fell. Sorry. Dive into the woods, head down, and here's where, there is a trail or set of trails here that are not on the map. And I believe this is a four-wheeler track from the maintenance shed over to the picnic loop. There used to be a trail here that was on the map, and it became so overgrown that we removed it. But now it appears that the park has been driving on it with their four-wheelers and cleared it out. So, instead of taking their four-wheeler down the road and coming in, they're cutting across through the woods. So I'm following along it, and of course, whenever you hit a trail that's not on the map, you've got to decide when to go in the woods. So I figured, it's not going where I want it to go, so I better drop in. Down the spur, such as it is, to a dot knoll. There we go. Just tape. All right, here's your third leg. This area of the park is really not that steep, but I was still having trouble going up the hills. And off we go. along in here, I started thinking, I wonder if I need to adjust the declination on this map, because it used to be our declination never changed, but everything seemed to be off just a bit. Declination has been changing more frequently, or is constantly changing, I should say, in our area now. Of course, all orienteering maps are oriented to magnetic north, so we had to keep up with it. Woods were pretty open for August. Anytime you can see the brown leaves on the ground, it's pretty open. And everything tracking along very well here. I'm hoping I'm going to come out right where I can see that trail junction, but not at the trail junction. And yeah, here's the big trail, and off to the left I could see the trail junction. I go down a little bit, jump in. There's a big rootstock there to the left, which has another blue tape on it. I think that's one of Fred's tapes, which I saw several of his tapes on this run. I need to get his course and follow those. All right, so we're heading down, and yeah, these entrants are very vague, but there should be a ditch. So I finally see the ditch over to my right. Move to the left just a little bit. I think there was one of Fred's tapes over here somewhere in a reentrant. And right into the dot null. All right, next. Yeah, crossing that creek down there is always a weak point for me. And my plan is to try to cross it before it gets very deep gully. Because crossing the deep gully, it's a blue line outlined with brown. You can see it coming up dead ahead there. Crossing that thing is not fun at my age. Crawling down in, crawling out, yeah. I think I saw another of Fred's tapes in that little shallow entrant. So yeah, now I'm crossing, and yeah, no gully to cross, but I'm in the rootstocks. The green bar is pretty much gone in here, I think. So now the object is to contour along, pick the right spot to go up. There's that short gully. And I started up at this point, and yeah, I had to stop there for a second and think about it. I am way too soon starting up. I thought I was at the next one. I realized my mistake when I got along in here and saw, hey, that's a pretty deep gully there. I was too soon, so I had to turn off to the, I guess that would be the north. I should be coming up on a group of rootstocks. And here they are. So jump right past these rootstocks, and there should be the dot null. And there it is. All right, this one, well, I'll let you think about it, but yeah. Yeah, avoiding the green. But that green is not as bad this time of year as it would look in the winter time, because, everything's sort of green this time of year. But I do want to avoid the medium green. So my plan is to go across the hill, make contact with the medium green, Go down the edge. When it looks like it's not so bad, I'll cut in. And that's what we've got here. So I'm crossing over the top of the hill, the old road. You can see off to the right, it's kind of thicker over there, but just past the medium green, it doesn't look so bad. So I'm just cutting right through. I don't know where I'm going to come out. And it doesn't matter where I come out. I'll figure it out when I get down there. And when I get down there, I recognize that the purple bar that we have there, which is sort of a dangerous fence thing that's sticking up out of the ground. So I go right past that. So I'm right on the line, trudging up the hill now. And that hill is, it doesn't look that steep, but it sure felt steep while I was out there. Hoping that I'm in the right spot and I'm going to come out right on this rootstock. And there it is. Next leg. And this is probably the most technical leg on this 5K course. So once again, my idea is to skirt the green. And this green could probably be taken off the map. And if you look over there, you see that, yeah, there's a lot of small trees over there, but they have grown up enough. Yeah, it's hot, so I'm wiping the sweat off. They have grown up enough that they're not as daunting as they used to be. So I should come out right by the ruin that you see and then cross the gravel road. Here you can see some of the ruin off there to the left. I think I had to cross an old fence, and that was the remains of that yellow clearing. Cross the road. I guess the GPS is lagging a little behind the video. So yeah, it's more confusing down in here. My idea is to contour along this side of this reentrant down that spur, pretty much straight line. Cross the next reentrant and go through the saddle. I did look over at this point, I think, and I could see the that purple bar is the old cemetery. I could see the sign for the old cemetery over there. And then when I was crossing the top of this reentrant, I could look over and see the black X, which is, I think it's an old refrigerator sitting up there on top of the spur. Yep. Then through the saddle and down the other side. At that point, you've got to be sure you go down the correct reentrant, not the first one, but the second one. And that dot knoll is very close to the bottom of the reentrant. Actually, no problem really finding that one. Yeah, this leg, you can see we've got to go up this long reentrant. And it's pointing, for most of its length, pointing right at where we want to go. And if I were a better runner, I would just be covering this ground really quickly to get to the power line and the gravel road. It was, yeah, thicker in here. You can see some of that, the black X is trash that's littering the bottom of that gully. And at this point, I didn't want to make the mistake of following the ditch that curves back to the east. I wanted to get between and go up the spur. And that was in that light green. And this light green actually turned out to be enough to slow me down. It doesn't take much to slow me down, but it's more of a fight to get through here. Looking for the power line. Looks like they had trimmed the power line not that long ago. And then we should cross that little bit of whitewood and come out on the gravel. And then right into the woods again. And it's still kind of green on this side. And here's where I, of course, made my mistake for the day. I'm going to number 3, and I should be going to number 7. In my defense, it's right on line. Who designed this course? I did. But, yeah. I see what I think are rootstocks. I should be following those, which will lead me right into number 3. And then I realized those are not my rootstocks. I'm too high. So I dropped down, find some rootstocks to follow. And about this time I realized, I'm not even going to 3. I'm going to 7. What the heck? We'll just continue on. At least when I get to 3, I'll know where I am. So I passed right by 3. This is another slightly tricky leg. Just need to cross this spur, which is sort of nondescript, and look for a re-entrant on the other side. But if you're off, you're going to miss it. I was just off just a little bit to the south, I guess, or east. Straight down, and it's kind of green down in there. Right to the rootstock. So this leg shouldn't be a challenge. It looks pretty easy. I think that's one of the intermediate, the orange level controls I put out. My plan here is to go right for the road. Don't waste any time. Get on the road and go around. And this is when you should be pouring on the speed. Except, yeah, I wasn't doing that. What speed? I'm going to go down and go back through that picnic shelter that we crossed earlier, where we have had a meet starts and finishes many times over the years, and local meets. Cut in, go right by the picnic shelter. Oh, and somebody had, lost their little thing, so I had to pick it up and throw it. Sort of a boomerang frisbee. All right, down the spur, which should lead me right into the re-entrant where the rootstock is. Which is a good plan until I got down there and saw that there were all these fallen trees blocking the way. So I had to move, I guess that would be west, crawl around in there, go around another one, and then turn back across the stream and up to the one I'm looking for. Right there. All right, we'll just do this leg and the finish together. That's pretty straightforward. At the road. Following the straight line, pretty much. Trying to wipe the sweat off, get it out of my eyes. Onto the road, up the hill. Oh, I think I dropped sweat on the camera. Sorry about that. Try not to get run over by a car. Turn left and go down this road. And I'm looking off to the side, and yeah, it's green in there. What the heck? I go by the trail, and it's still green. Keep going till it looks a little better, but yeah, it's just green. So I dive in anyway. This is a spring we're looking for. I got down there and it popped out of the green right onto a deer trail. It looked like it was headed right for the spring. That was convenient. And there we go. And then turn and go up the hill. I think this was my slowest leg. It's only, what, 2 contours, if that much, but it was green and I was tired and hot. And yeah. So another training run with the control app. Here's the screen that it gives me. If you can see that, you can see over on the right hand side my zones. I was in the light green, the fastest zone, pretty well. And my averages and things. That's the kind of stuff you can get with the control app. Anyway, thanks for listening.